What is going on, everybody? Welcome to episode number 4 of our Texas Rangers franchise. We are kicking this thing off, getting straight into it, diving nose first right into this baby. Bottom of the 9th, 6-6 game. It's tied, and Nomar Mazara is up, facing the hard-throwing lefty, Felipe Vasquez. And only you can guess what's going to happen, guys, because we need a big hit. I might be just teasing you, but check this out. Slider right down the middle, high and inside, down the middle of the plate, and Mazara sends it into the gap, into the stands. A walk-off home run, his 5th home run on the season, 411-foot bomb, 106-mile-an-hour exit velo. That was a shot, an absolute shot. Texas finally gets a W gameplay-wise in this series, and it couldn't have come at a better moment than right here in the red jerseys, in a night game, in interleague play. Am I right? Look at this swing one more time. That slider just caught way too much part of the in part of the plate. I mean, you can't time it up any better than that, my friends. So Texas gets the W, and boy, we needed it. We really needed that one really bad. We'd been on a losing streak, to say the least, at least in uploads. But as the calendar turns to May, we find ourselves 13-16, 2.5 games actually behind first place. Here's a little minor league update. Tim Dillard has been pitching very well, a 1.13 ERA over 8 innings. Zach Granite, Gazelle, has about a 387 batting average. And Scott Heineman, I love Scott Heineman. He's hitting 365 and 52 at-bats. Some guys that are not doing so well, David Carpenter, Jonathan Hernandez, so on and so forth. But here's a guy that I'm interested in who's pitching really well in the rotation, Ariel Jurado. A 1.91 ERA. He's 4-0, guys. He's 4-0. And looking at Hans Kraus and seeing how our young pitching has been performing, I'm going to promote him. So I promoted him to the AA level. He was sitting there at single A for some odd reason. But we're going to try to get that potential to be working. He's got to be able to be, he's got to throw. You know what I mean? We need our young guys to be into action, go through the growing pains, and get that potential upward. We don't need to have guys stay stagnant, right? So I'm focused on the young pitching. That's really where we're at in this franchise right now. And here's a little stats update. C.D. Pelham, a 3.27 ERA. He's pitching very well. Jet Bandy hitting over 309. He's hitting over 300. Jose Trevino, 259. And Kiner Falefa is hitting 171. So I don't like what I'm seeing there. Josh Morgan is hitting 345. The guy's raking right now. I like Josh Morgan. I did some research on him a couple days ago, and he's like a middle infielder / third baseman. Not so much a shortstop, like a second and third baseman type, but he was moved over to catcher by organizational request. So the Texas Rangers organization requested that he move there, which I think he's going to be a good one, guys. I really do. I think he's got a lot of potential. And I'm not talking solely, I'm just trying to give you guys the update here for the stats, but Patrick Wisdom is really struggling, hitting 154. We might even consider calling Josh Morgan up. I mean, we need a third baseman. I like hitting with Wisdom, but I just haven't had a lot of time to play with him and get him in the lineup because he's been blocked by Asdrubal Cabrera. Yeah, and when Cabrera leaves, maybe we can give him some more time, but I think in the meantime, we need to start looking at a possible third base replacement. He is 27 years old, so that's kind of a downside for Patrick Wisdom. Scott Heineman, you guys just saw some statistics for him. He's looking really good right now. Juan Pablo Martinez, not doing too well at the AA level. Nomar Mazara hitting 278. But just back to Josh Morgan, guys. Look him up if you haven't. He's a really, really solid player. I think he's got a good future. Alexander Palma, though, is really struggling right now. He's hitting 215. Willie Calhoun at the AAA level hitting 295, so I like what he's been able to do. And again, he kind of fits more as a designated hitter in the future. We'll just have to see how that all pans out. But I did go in, and I don't want to get into a habit of doing this because I don't want you guys thinking I'm just going in and changing how the franchise works and the rosters work. But Kiner Falefa needed a little bit of a bump. And, you know, he really did. At a 62 overall, it just really didn't make a lot of sense to me to do that. To run with Kiner Falefa as a 62. So I just went in, gave him a little stats update, bumped him up to a 65. I think you all are probably cool with that. So, all right, next gameplay moment right here. We're taking on the Toronto Blue Jays, who are 9-22. 9-22. That is very, very, very bad. But we sit at 14-16, and I think I like our chances here. And again, another 6-6 game here in the bottom of the ninth. First pitch going for a strike against Elvis Andrus. Second pitch here, broken bat, and it's going to be Ken Giles making the catch for the first out of the inning. So here's the hero from last game, Nomar Mazara. He's already 1 for 3 with a single and a run scored. So at least he's contributed 1 of 6 runs. Here's the third pitch actually by Ken Giles. Going to go upstairs, 99. So a little bit kind of in the same ballpark here as Felipe Vasquez was in the previous game that we just saw. So Mazara, we know he can time some things up, and here's a pitch that he just sends foul. It was another fastball. It was right down the middle. Probably could have done some more damage on it had he gotten a little bit more underneath it. Fifth pitch incoming from Ken Giles, and another slider that Mazara did deposit into that right center field gap against Felipe Vasquez. I still want to reference that because I'm still not over that big, huge hit by Mazara. But look at this, a fastball right down the middle, and Mazara knew exactly what to do to that one, and he got early on it this time, and this time he's going to get in with a double. So no home run, but we'll take it. We'll take it. Here is a 3-0 count, and there's no reason to pitch to Joey Gallo if you're Ken Giles. A gap shot's probably scoring Nomar Mazara right there. So it's a good thing that he had a 4-pitch walk. He didn't really even throw to him, just didn't even give him a strike at all, didn't even come close. So it forces the double play situation, and you got to like your matchup here if you're Ken Giles against Asdrubal Cabrera. You really do. I mean, you try to get the ball low, get that ground ball going, try to test his reaction time to your 96 to 99 mile an hour fastball. It's a good bet that you're going to get a ground ball here. So 2-0 already, so Giles is missing, and very patient hitter is Cabrera right here and right now. So he's trying to shoot for that 2-seam fastball again, actually that 4-seam that's just got that movement, that side movement. He's going to miss again. So he's really trying to get Cabrera to chase something. He's 3-0. And honestly, I'm taking. You got to take here. So he takes it. It's a slider. Going to find itself right down the middle. A little bit in, a little bit center cut, but it was middle of the plate. Probably could have done some damage with that, but on 3-0, you got to let him throw you a strike here. And a check swing. Checked to third. He didn't go. So guys, a walk. And here is Ronald Guzman. Come on, buddy. All you need is a fly ball, and you win the game for your Rangers. Here's a fly ball line drive to center field, and nobody's going to get this one. Texas walks it off again, and Mazara is the first one to score. Man, he is involved in everything today, guys. So Ronald Guzman is the hero. They were playing in. Obviously, anything over your head they're gonna win the game anyway. Anything short, you want to be able to have a play at home, guys. And you know, it wasn't stupidly played by the really bad Toronto Blue Jays. Now the 9-23 Toronto Blue Jays. You had to do it. It was a do-or-die situation. Guzman just came through with that line drive. So there are the statistics there. Chu went 0 for 4. He's still hitting over 300 at 337. Odor is still having a really good season at 348. Mazara now up to 283 after the 2-hit performance there. Joey Gallo must have had a home run again. Yes, he did. That would be his 7th. Jeff Mathis actually had his 3rd home run of the year. And actually, for Jeff Mathis, that's a pretty darn good season already. So he's having a good one in 2019. Hopefully he keeps this up. So let's go ahead and talk about Rafael Montero and this game against the Reno Aces, the Arizona Diamondbacks affiliate. 2 strikeouts already for Rafael Montero. And you guys saw his numbers really quick. He's having a pretty darn good season down here in AAA. And I'm fairly impressed with what he's been able to do. And coming over from the New York Mets, he had a couple starts for the Mets a few years back. He's pretty much a starting pitcher in my eyes. And I want to be able to show you guys some gameplay here and see how he does. And he's pitching really well right now, only not even giving up a run here in the top of the 7th. And Alexander Palma going to get some more insurance on top of that, for Montero, as we head even further into this game, he's pitching really well. He was actually a bullpen guy for the Sounds, and then we moved him over to being a starting pitcher, and he's posted some pretty darn good numbers down here in AAA. Eventually, maybe, he'll get the call-up for the Texas Rangers in the big league club, and then maybe he's got some stick. Maybe he can stick with us and be a bullpen arm for us down the road. All right, we're going to go ahead and skip. We're out of the 7th inning. Let's go to the bottom of the 8th. He's going to get his 5th strikeout right then and there on that lefty. He gets out of the 8th, goes into the bottom of the 9th, gives up a run, and with a runner on second base, manager keeps him in. He hadn't even thrown 100 pitches yet. That strikeout, his 8th of the game, will be the 100th pitch. He moves on to 7-4. I like what I'm seeing out of Rafael Montero. I hope you guys do too. I hope you're on board with taking a look and getting an extended look on this guy. Hopefully it pans out in the long haul, because I really do. I think he's going to be a pretty good pitcher for the Rangers. Ariel Jurado getting the start against these lowly Baltimore Orioles. He's 4-4 currently with a 4.7 ERA. He had been pitching really well. I gave you guys that update. He was currently 4-0 with a 1.9. Now he's kind of fallen off a little bit. So we're trying to get him back on track. And this is a good team to do it against, as you guys can see. I mean, nobody's hitting over 250. Jonathan Villar is the only hitter hitting 250. He's hitting 251. So not a very potent Orioles lineup. Something that they used to pride themselves on was a really good offense, especially out in Camden Yards. I mean, that ball flies all over the place out there. But this team, it is in a rebuilding mode. We're a little bit further ahead of Baltimore, I'd like to think. So I think Ariel Jurado is going to have a really good game here. What do you guys think? We're going up against Daniel Straley, 2-8 with a 4.95. All things considered, having 8 losses, it's kind of deceiving because you would think he sucks as a pitcher, right? Well, he's got a 4.95, so his team's not very good, and in general, he's probably trying to do too much. He's probably trying to do too much to try to get the opponents shut down. But he's going to strike out Shin-Soo Choo, sitting 328 right now. Gave him a nice little slider, caught him inside a little bit. Here's a nice pitch there on Elvis Andrus, caught him inside as well. And Richie Martin going to make the play for the second out in the first inning. So here is Rougned Odor, and he's going to take a slider to the back. That one probably didn't feel too good. He's kind of staring over there a little bit, trying to make sure that wasn't intentional. I highly doubt that it was, because Nomar Mazar has been seeing the baseball really, really well. It's probably looking like a beach ball to him right now. He's going to hit this thing way out there to deep center field, but Cedric Mullins is going to take care of it, and the inning is over for the Texas Rangers. Two-seam fastball on Dwight Smith Jr. Going to get the first K for Ariel Jurado. And let's just take a look at the pitch sequence here. Got away with a cookie right there, and then went right back at him, high and away. So went high, went low, then went high. So nice change of direction there for the pitches. The 3-pitch strikeout by Ariel Jurado, and then another strikeout by Jurado. So he's already got 2 so far on the game. Here's Jeff Mathis again, who's having a great opening start to the 2019 season. A double by the previous batter. And then Mathis gets the single to score the run. And here's Jurado trying to make a backhanded stab at it, but he totally misses the ball and can't get the out. So, hey, the perfect game is over in the top of the 3rd. I'm just kidding. It's a joke. Cedric Mullins is going to strike out, so that's going to be his 3rd on the game. He's just dealing right now, guys. Runner on first and second, though, and here's a ground ball over to first, back over to shortstop. That's Elvis Andrus, back over to first, and a double play is had. So Ronald Guzman, nice job there to twist it. Andrus, even better to make that throw. So here's Odor again, and he gets another slider that hits his knee. So now you got to start asking the question, is Daniel Straley doing it on purpose? Because look, there are 2 outs every time that Odor gets up to bat, and they keep throwing at him. So it's kind of concerning. So Jonathan Villar, their second baseman, Jurado knows what he's got to do. He has to know what he has to do, right? The rookie pitcher. He's going to throw right behind Jonathan Villar, and he does not appreciate that whatsoever. He's calling the ump at him. He's like, you going to give him a warning? Huh? No? I got a bat in my hand, buddy. I can charge the mound if I want to. Yeah, it's getting tense a little bit. So the umpire says, you know what, that he's just doing what he has to do. If I'm the umpire, though, I'm giving warnings out at that point. I don't know why he didn't. That's a bad umpire, in my opinion, because things could have gotten escalated pretty quickly. But look at this pitch. That's nasty. That's just mean. That's mean. Jurado with this slurve or the slider high and away. It looked like it was going to like hit him and then just broke. I mean, there's nothing you can do, especially after it threw at him like that. Yeah, there's nothing you can do. Strikeout on Stewart. That's Jurado's 5th on the game, and this ground ball to Odor. He's going to retire that inning. So here's Joey Gallo. A fastball low, and wow, holy crap. Put a charge into this one, and look at this looking up. It is gone. Joey Gallo, his 100th home run in his career, goes for a solo shot. So Straley's looking back like, I cannot believe he just took that deep. That pitch, low and away, holy cow. So in the bottom of the 4th, the Rangers now take a 2-0 lead. And it's about time that this offense has started to come through, guys. I mean, I was kind of getting a little bit concerned here early on in the spring. And now it's really starting to look like it's going to be a pretty potent force to be reckoned with here in the AL West. I mean, I don't have any anticipation that we're going to make the playoffs, but you might as well try. When you got players like Chu, Andrews, and Odor, and Gallo, it could happen. But it's the pitching staff that's going to really hold us back here. Chu gets a RBI double, and it's going to be 3-0 in the bottom of the 5th. That's his 6th RBI on the season. So with a runner on second base here, here's Elvis Andrews going the other way, and take a look. Chu is going to round third and head for home, and without a throw, comes in. It's going to be 4-0. So Jurado is in business. He's in major business here. He's cruising. That's his 6th strikeout on the game on only 67 pitches. And then Trey Mancini takes a 94-mile-an-hour two-seamer, low and away. So Jurado just killing it right now. 7 strikeouts on the Baltimore Orioles. And, I mean, while I'm a little bit impressed, I'm not that impressed because the Orioles are not that good. But I'm still impressed nonetheless. This is a rookie pitcher, and he's doing some wondrous things right here at the big league level. 8th inning, 83 pitches. And we don't want to overwork him having it be in May. We don't want to overwork the rookie, right? So we're going with Jonmar Gomez in a 4-0 game. We got a 4-run cushion. Things are looking good for us here. So we're going to actually give him some work and pitch him into the 9th. We're gonna go with Gomez in the 9th as well. So he gets out of the 8th. Here's Gallo yet again, facing off against Means. And he's going to get a single. No! It's stolen away by Cedric Mullins. What a play. Wow, let's take a look at that again. Just real quick. Just an absolute shot, a missile to center field. That takes a lot of guts to go down there and get it. But then again, in a 4-0 game here, and you're the Baltimore Orioles, what do you have to lose? You know what I mean? Just go ahead and make plays and show another big league team that you can make plays that you might get traded to at the deadline. So Jonmar Gomez finishes off the Orioles here in the top of the 9th, gets the 3 outs that are needed, and Ariel Jurado gets the win. So he now moves above 500 for the first time since he went 4-4. So he was on a 4-game losing streak, and now he's back over 500 at 5-4. So guys, that's going to be it for the gameplay. Let's go ahead and take a look at the box score real quick, and then after this, we'll go right into some of the scouting reports that our scouts have built up. And on Thursday, we're going to go right into the actual draft. Now, I will say one thing: I'm not very impressed with the haul that I was able to gather with the draftees, the draft eligible players. I wasn't impressed with it. There's a lot of reds, a lot of guys that aren't scouted, but there's a very minimal greens. And I feel like if you can get a lot more yellows, you need a lot of yellows. Get as many greens as you can, but if you get a lot of yellows, you're in a better position. You don't need everybody green, and that was a mistake that I made here in this draft class. I will be better. I will take responsibility for that. Don't hate me for it. Don't hate me too much for it. But I'll take responsibility for it. We'll do a better job in scouting for year number 2. So there's a couple guys that are on my radar here. Obviously guys that are blue chip prospects like Brian Tompkins, Matt Pereira, Barry Spence, Benito Escobar. Kevin Jorgensen is probably the best prospect here. I guess he's number 1 right now. Even though his ETA is 2023, he's looking like he's the number 1 guy. He's a shortstop, right? Benito Escobar's got that 2023 plus ETA. He's another guy that I'm looking at because I want to plan for the future here at middle infield specifically. Ronaldo Valencia, another pretty good player. He's got potential to be a well above average player there at the 75. Keep in mind, guys, that is not going to be their overall grade. That's just off of the scouting scale. So they have a chance, if they are an 80 potential, that means they have a chance to become an elite player at the big league level. Right now, Preston Romano, a pitcher that I'm eyeing, he's 6'5" and he's a righty. He's got some heat. Robert Amos, a lefty, he's 6'4", kind of that David Price kind of look. I kind of like that guy as well. Scotty Chavez looks like he's pretty slick with the glove. So there's a few guys that are on my list, and I kind of want to know what you guys think as well as we scroll through some of these top prospects. Most of these guys are not going to be available in the second round, I will just say that. And I want to know what you guys are thinking here. I will let you guys know. I already drafted. The Thursday video is already ready. So I don't want to spoil it. So who do you think that we should go after? Obviously catcher. I've talked about catcher, the catcher position, that we need a young guy in there. I'm thinking about moving Josh Morgan over to third. We need some third base depth. But obviously these guys like Oliver Gordon, TJ Mendoza, Will Flores, he was up there. We need some catching prospects. Dirk K. These are some good guys. These are some really good guys, really good prospects. And I'm just anxious to see what you guys are thinking. So I guess looking at this, we really did a good job scouting top tier talent, like first and second round guys. We got a lot of greens here. We got a lot to choose from for our first 2 picks. But anything after that, as far as depth goes, I'm not gonna lie to you, I didn't do too good of a job. But I want to know what you guys think. There's Roger Ashley, a pitcher right there. I'm looking at 19 years old, 2020. I didn't really cover him though, but he's another guy that I've had a lot of time looking at, and you guys can see it here. Not a lot of depth. Got a lot of red going on here near the back ends, and not a lot of yellow. So there's a pretty mixed bag, to say the least. I'm not really looking at first base this season. Eventually, I think we probably need to, but first base really isn't on the radar. It's mostly second base, shortstop, and starting pitching. Definitely starting pitching, but you guys can see there are a lot of good prospects here at second base that just weren't scouted as well. Third base, I'm not concerned about as far as drafting goes. We can address third within our own system, within our own minor leagues. I think we'll be fine. Outfield, I'm not even concerned about as well. Got guys like Granite, Juan Pablo Martinez, Leody Tavares. We're set there. I'm mostly focused on pitching, though, for sure. So I'll see you guys on Thursday. Leave a like if you like this thing, and let me know who you guys think that we should probably scout a little bit more and take in our draft. As always, peace.